Hey, I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice.
And this is The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
We are breakup coaches here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life. All right. Hello, Claire. How are you?
I am good, thank you, Janice. How are you?
I'm awesome, and I'm very excited that today we are introducing our guest interview series. Yay!
So our interview series is just adding to our duo series, and the idea is to get more women on the podcast to talk about their breakups. They do not have to be breakup coaches. In fact, we don't have any breakup coaches on the docket yet for interviews. So these are, quote, real women with their stories, their lessons, their takeaways from breakups.
Yep. We were really interested in interviewing Jessie first, possibly because she's a very interesting and amazing woman with interesting background. And we got to know her when we took our life coaching course with Beautiful You Life Coaching Academy.
Yes.
So Jessie is a coach. She works with women to empower them and to get them ready to release their fears, explore their sexual power, transform their self-love, and ignite their passions. And she joined us all the way from New Zealand to chat about her work and also her background in entering the, quote, alternative lifestyle world after one of her breakups.
Yeah, so we think this will be a great fit if you're in more of the moving on section of the Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On podcast.
Right.
And so this, it's going to be so fascinating to talk to Jessie about all the different ways that you can go about healing and changing your whole life up.
Yeah,
after
she
a
really
breakup.
did. She transformed her existence after one of her breakups, and it got her to where she is today.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys enjoy it. And thank you so much, Jessie, for joining us.
Yeah. So joining us all the way from New Zealand, please welcome Jessie.
We're so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you, ladies.
Amazing. You're our first interview.
Well, that's exciting.
Got the butterflies.
It's going to be great.
Yes. It's a little easier because the three of us all met in the Beautiful You Life Coaching Academy.
Yeah. Coach school.
Coach school.
Coach school.
Coaching school.
Yeah, we all connected from all over the world. At the time, I was living in California. Janice was in Colorado, and Jessie is in New Zealand.
Yes, so, I think that's very cool. Our first interview is with a Kiwi.
Yay, go Kiwis.
Jessie is a coach and a photographer and is going to fill us in on all of that at the end of the episode.
And like most humans, she's been through a breakup that was actually quite transformative and led to a lot of changes in her life into finding the polyamorous lifestyle as well. And so that's what we would love to talk about. If you could tell us a little bit about that breakup and the revelations that happened during that time and kind of where that all went.
Sure. Yeah, so I had been in mono relationships since like 16. I was one of those people that was like a serial dater. And I don't like to admit it, but I was one of those people that would always have someone waiting in the wings. So I was never single. Like I would break up with someone, but there was already someone that I'd sort of been forming a relationship with anyway.
Got it.
So I wasn't always ethical, and I didn't know at the time about polyamory. I was, like I said, I was in my early like teen years.
That would be quite bold for a 16-year-old to come out as polyamorous.
I didn't know it was a thing though at
right.
16.
Of course
like
not.
I just, like at 16 I started dating, and as I got on like 18, 20, like I kind of I didn't really start to know what polyamory was until I was like, I'm about to turn 30 on Sunday.
Woohoo!
And
Happy
I know.
birthday.
Amazing.
But I didn't know about polyamory until I was like mid-20s, like 23, 25, I think. And I'd just been in monogamous relationships, and I like had feelings for other people, and there were incidences where like you could call it cheating. And I'm not proud to say that, but I didn't know any better at the time. And I have, like, with past partners, told them about this, and obviously those relationships had ended and stuff like that, or we tried to work through. So my last partner, he is amazing. My ex-partner.
Ex-monogamous partner.
Yeah. So my last monogamous partner, he was and is amazing. Honestly, he's such a gentleman. He's so lovely. He was the first guy I dated who was like 3 or 4 years younger than me, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I date guys. Normally, I date guys older than me. I prefer it. They're a little bit more mature. Like, it's just kind of what I like. But he was the first guy younger than me, and it was great. Like, I did a lot of growing. Like, I traveled to Japan by myself because he sort of encouraged it. We both did some growing in that period of time. So we tried to make it work. We were together for 4 years, I think.
Okay.
But we'd known. So I went to America in 2017 and did the New York Marathon with him and my stepdad and stuff.
The marathon?
Yeah, the marathon.
Oh my God! Wow!
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. Never again. I'm not a runner. I did it because side note, my stepdad's blind, has Parkinson's. That was he's run 10 now. 10
Wow.
So I ran his 9th with him. I was his guide, and my partner at the time ran with my stepdad's partner.
I'm fascinated. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, we were over there and we were having these discussions, and at the time I was dead set on moving to New York. I was like, I fucking love New York. I want to move over there. And he was like, I don't want to, like, I want to have a family. And we should have broken up then. We were like so close to breaking up in Washington. So we went and visited Washington afterwards. And I remember this conversation. We were in the hotel room and we were like, what do we do? Like, and then we were like, okay. And I stupidly was like, okay, well, look, I will compromise. I will give you children. Like, we'll have it. And I do not want children, guys, like at all. Like, I love kids. I think they're fucking awesome. But the lifestyle that I live, I don't want kids. I have my own business.
Same.
I like doing what I want to do. Like, it's just not something I want. So anyway, I don't know why I compromised, and we sort of tried to work it out. And so we didn't break up until 2019. And we should have broken up sooner. Basically, it got to the point where I was like, I can't lie to you. I can't, because I was like, oh, maybe by 30, like, we'll start having kids when I turn 30. And then one day I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to get to 30 and be like, I can't promise you that when you could go out and find someone who wants to have kids with you. Like, it's just not fair on either of us. One of us would start hating the other one. And chances are it would be me, because I would be the one that would have the child and not want it, right? Like, so we actually had to sit down, and we ended up having to go our separate ways. But it was amazing. Like, we had started to get tools for like communication.
Okay.
And that's when I really started to get communication, right? Was I'd done this program, and it was talking about like actually listening to people and like sort of communicating and hearing what people had to say rather than like thinking of a response. So we sat down, we talked it out, and then we just decided that it was probably best that we went our separate ways because we wanted different things. And I wanted polyamory because I'd realized over the years that I had feelings for other people, and I wanted to explore that. And that had come from being in the BDSM community. So
can you tell us about that, and how did you first get exposed to the idea of polyamory and why it resonated with you?
Yeah, so I, around 23, fell into the BDSM community here in
fell into it.
Just fell into it. No, honestly, I had
what you doing?
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, hey. No. Funny story.
This looks fun.
My sister knew the owners of a swingers club, right?
Okay.
And so I was working at a bar at the time, and I met them, and I went to an event that they were holding at their swingers club. So they had swingers events, but they also had BDSM events. And I went to one of their BDSM events which was like a slave auction. The most intimidating thing for this 23-year-old, like,
Wow.
man, I was a sheltered child. My mother kept me sheltered.
Mhm.
And I went to this thing and I like wide-eyed was like, what the fuck? Anyway, like I just I fell into it. I loved it. The people were amazing. And then there were things I started exploring. So I do a lot of shibari and I do like there's other things I do, but
so for anyone who doesn't know, shibari being the art of rope tying your partner.
It's a Japanese, and it's amazing. I love it.
I've done some shibari as well.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But it was through there, like I'd started making connections with people. And so my partner at the time when I fell into the scene was in the Navy or is in the Navy, and he was away. So he was away for 6 months. And again, I fell for these people, and what a lot of people in the kink community do when they first join is what's termed as a frenzy. And basically, you just want to try everything with everyone.
Oh my God. Interesting.
So, yeah, and everyone does it. Everyone, and I re-frenzied after.
Everyone does everyone?
Not does everyone, but like you kind of are, you just like, no.
I thought that's what you said, sorry.
Open.
Clearly, but no, the kink community here is very small. So I was very proud for a long time that I had not slept with anyone in the kink community.
Okay.
But basically he was overseas, this partner at the time. I fell into the kink community and started falling for these other people and essentially cheated on him. I never had sex with any of them, but there was one guy that I would say I was dating, like in a relationship with. We would go for dinner all the time, like we'd hang out. And then there was just so much going on because I did frenzy. And that was the first time I was like, oh, and I met people who were in multiple relationships and sort of stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay.
You saw a different way of being.
Yeah. And I never really explored it because then I got out of that relationship and got into the one with my last partner. And he knew I was into kink. So the partner before him didn't. So when he came home, it was this huge adjustment period and we ended up breaking up. We were toxic for each other. Anyway, I got with this other partner and I was like, this is what I'm into. And he was like, that's fine. That's cool. Go and do the thing. Until he realized what that actually meant. So I was playing with other people. I wasn't having sex. So I was exclusively having sex with the partner I was with, right? But I was seeing, I had a play partner and we would do impact.
Mm-hmm.
And so
do you want to explain that?
Impact is basically like what it sounds like, I suppose. How do you explain impact? Basically, I got my ass beat with different instruments.
So spanking play.
Spanking. You can use all sorts of things, basically. And it was all hunky-dory until he saw the bruises.
Okay.
And that's when it kind of, he was like, I'm not okay with this. Like, I can't do this. And so things kind of, that's where it first started to break between us. Like, I could still go to events, but I couldn't do anything. And I was like, well, and he wasn't really into like kink stuff. So it was kind of, that relationship lasted a lot longer than it probably should have.
So when it ended, did you just automatically know inside, like, now I'm openly full out poly kink, poly kinky girl?
Basically, that's what I said. At the end of that relationship, I was like, I'm no longer going to be in a monogamous relationship and I'm no longer going to deny that part of me, because I tried, like with the partner prior to him, the Navy guy, I tried to like just quit kink and BDSM and stuff, and I can't. It's part of who I am. Like, it's what I need, it's what I love, the community, like my friends and stuff. So yeah, after I got out of this relationship with my last partner, I was like, that's it, I'm polyamorous. Like, I didn't actually say polyamorous, I said I was non-monogamous, because there's definitions of polyamory and non-monogamy and stuff. It's just,
do you want to just give a nutshell?
Yeah, so non-monogamy is like the umbrella term. and like polyamory sits under it, and there are other things like there's relationship anarchy,
and just being open but not
open
poly.
relationship. Yeah. So
Okay.
polyamorous is essentially being in multiple relationships. And
Right.
I, at the time, didn't know that's what I wanted. I knew that I wanted someone and that I wanted the freedom to do what I wanted to do, like go and explore the kink stuff that partner might necessarily not be into.
Did you feel like you needed to learn how to be in this new sort of relationship? Did you do any study, or did you just jump into it? What was your process?
I jumped in the deep end. However, how did it start? So I ended the relationship. I basically just frenzied again.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, it was new for me again because I could finally do all the things that I'd been around but not been able to do. So like primal play, which is very much hunter, be hunted, chasing, biting, growling, like wrestling and stuff, which I'm very much into.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I got to do that with someone for a while, and we sort of had like a semi thing going on, and that's ended now. And you know, I could do impact again, and I could do suspension. I could always do suspension because that was non-sexual for me.
And that's a shibari technique where you are suspended with the ropes.
Sorry,
right.
I should say that. Yes.
No, it's awesome.
Shibari and suspension. So like one step further. So not all shibari artists suspend.
Right.
Like it's personal preference. So that was like the one thing I could do because it was non-sexual until I found out it could be sexual, and it's awesome.
Right. Well, so then you're in a relationship now. How long into your journey did you find your current partner who you live with?
A couple of months. So I think we broke up in like May. I think April, May, and then him and I started dating in like November, December 2019.
Okay.
But I'd had on my Tinder and Bumble profiles that I was non-monogamous, like ethically non-monogamous. The one book I did read, which I highly recommend, is The Ethical Slut.
Yes.
That even if you're monogamous though, like read that, because there's some great advice. Just ignore it can get quite gaudy and start and talking about God and stuff, and there's some things that are a little bit outdated, but like but the overall like conversations were good, like talking around jealousy and talking around communication and talking around like all that kind of stuff.
Jessie, this actually leads into one of Claire and my questions. I don't think that was grammatically correct, but one of our questions is
you get it.
So anyone who wants to be in a healthy relationship can definitely take a page from the book of someone who lives your lifestyle. So how have you learned to communicate openly enough to have 3 relationships that you consider yourself to be thriving in? And what are a couple tips that you could give anyone, either non-monogamous or monogamous, about talking with your partner?
So healthy communication, like communication is definitely key in any relationship, right? And like I said earlier to you guys, I think sometimes in mono relationships, communication can be taken for granted. And what you do and don't tell people, like where is that line of trust? So the best thing we do is essentially we just you kind of have to get over that fear of like, is it jealousy or like, because you're hardwired to be with one person, right? Like it's what we're brought up with. So the guilt is normal to feel. Like if you're talking to someone else, like that guilt still comes up, like, oh, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? Should I be telling my partner that I'm talking to this person? The answer is yes. Just talk, sit down. Don't do it in bed at night. That is the worst thing you can do. Like it's the same thing as like, don't end the night on an argument. Like don't ever do that either. Terrible idea. You have the worst night's sleep. But like set a time, or like my partners and I were all a bit, we don't really have anything structured. We kind of just, they're like, hey, I've got something to talk to you about. Like, is now a good time? If it is, then we'll talk about it. If it's not, we'll schedule a time that's to talk. Like the partner that I live with, he's actually going to go meet our girlfriend. We date her separately, but we also hang out as a threesome. Anyway, they've sort of had like a bit of a misalignment on she's also gone through her own journey, broken up with a girlfriend. realized she's also in the kink community, realized that she's not just a bottom and that she wants to top as well. So, and my partner that I live with is primarily a dominant. So they're having a discussion tonight about like how their relationship is now going to evolve, right? So they've set time aside to go and have that conversation.
Yeah. And I think that's really important because everyone tosses that term around, communicate, but you can have a one-way communication that does not land on someone. It's actually really about the comprehension and making sure that what you're saying is getting across in the way that you mean it to, and that you're also receiving that information back. And that has a lot to do with timing.
There's a technique that you can use that with listening, not particularly communicating, but listening to someone communicating to you is firstly, you just need to focus on what they're saying rather than trying to think of a response. But for someone to feel heard and listened to, you need to say back to them what they've said to you or the way that you've heard it. So if I had said, I'm feeling neglected, someone who had heard that would be like, I'm okay, I'm feeling okay, I understand that you're feeling neglected. You know, like you've actually heard what I've said rather than being like, but this has been happening and this has been happening and this, like, you know, and dismissing it. So, and another one as a communicator is don't ever put how you're feeling on that person. Don't ever be like, you make me feel this way, because they don't make you feel that way. You're feeling that way. It's not their responsibility. Like, be responsible for how you're feeling.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn this?
Again, I learned techniques through self-development courses, the one we've spoken about before. But also it talks about it in, but you slip up, right? But it also talks about it in Ethical Slut. So there were times where I wasn't doing that. And I thought I was an amazing listener because people come to me with their problems all the time. But now, like, because I'm quite empathic, but you just sort of, you actively have to work on it. It's not like you just learn it and then it's magically there. Like, you kind of have to actively keep working on it. And if you find yourself being distracted or like trying to think of a response for that, catch yourself in that moment and be like, okay, no, stop and just listen. And I have done that for myself before. Like, if I find myself wandering or trying to think of a response in my head, I won't say it out loud, obviously. It's like, no, focus, listen. Like, listen to what they're saying. It's just a muscle. You have to kind of keep using it.
Yeah. Yeah. I highly recommend the book Nonviolent Communication, because it breaks down. So it's, I mean, they do talk about listening and to receive what you're hearing before you start coming up with your response. But it also breaks down how exactly to communicate back to someone. So how you mentioned not saying that someone makes you feel a certain way. This really takes that into account and breaks it down into like 4 parts of how you actually say something back so that someone can receive it. And it's been used from, you know, marriages all the way up to geopolitics, you know.
Yeah, I've heard therapists say that if all of their clients learned NVC, that they would go out of business.
Yeah.
In fact, if either of you ever want to take a course, I've always wanted to take a course with a buddy, because I'm
down. I'm always like, give me. I'm forever a student.
I know the 3 of us are all about the courses.
Lifelong learners.
This leads right into another question that I have. I mean, even listening to you say all of this, it does sound a little tiring, I have to say. Do you feel like you communicate more and have more of these conversations being in a polyamorous relationship? And then what are some other differences between poly and mono?
It can be exhausting.
Yeah.
I feel, but obviously, yes, I communicate more because there are more people involved. Like, and I have to be open. There's no point lying. There's no point withholding information from people, because you're going to get caught out at some point in time, right? Even if you're in a mono relationship, if you start lying and hiding things, you're going to get caught out eventually. Like, you'll slip up on what you've said. So you be honest. It takes something to swallow that fear of guilt or whatever is going on to just be like, hey, I've done this, or hey, I'm feeling this way. And yes, it can be exhausting, particularly when the other people are involved, like the relationship. So one of my girlfriends and I, we have a very non-communicative relationship. Like we kind of just talk when we see each other, or like send each other a few messages. We're not talking all the time, but that works for us because we're both very busy people. She also owns her own business. She also has another partner, and she sees a couple as well. Like she's what we call solo poly. Basically she's single and she sees other people, but none of them are her primary partners. But that works for us. Whereas my other two partners, who also date, we're always in communication.
Right.
Always. We have a group chat on Messenger,
Oh,
which
I
is
love
just
that, actually.
Yeah. So nothing serious gets talked about on there. Like you have to have your time and a place for serious stuff. And I do not recommend doing it via Messenger. Always best to talk to someone. Always. Because messages can be misconstrued. You can type something and write it and you can mean it one way and they can interpret it another way. Do not recommend. But we're always in constant communication. Like we see each other at least once a week, if not twice a week. Like I said, I'm going with him tonight. They're going to go off and do their own thing. She has a daughter, so I'm looking after the kid while they go off and do their thing. But we have to, otherwise it doesn't work. Like he has said to me how he's been feeling about that relationship and how he's feeling like they're distancing themselves, and she's just got into a new relationship as well, so there's that NRE energy with that relationship, so that's put us all on rocky ground, like particularly him and I. So it's just about expressing that. So I've said to her, like, I feel a little bit neglected, I feel like, but that's bound to happen. You've got NRE, like you're seeing this guy all the time, and that's totally cool.
NRE?
New relationship energy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I love it. And okay. That's a little new to me, actually.
Yeah, NRE is everyone gets NRE. It's like the honeymoon period. I guess.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's
I love all the terminology. It's so sexy.
So there's all that to like manage. So they've communicated obviously in Messenger that they want to talk. She doesn't like talking on the phone, so it's in person. Simple. Like that works. Some people are happy to communicate via the phone. Like my partner and I'm happy to take a phone call as long as it's at a good time for me. Like I'm not in the middle of work or dealing with some stuff. Like if he's at work and he needs to talk to me, I'm happy for him to call me. But you just have to be open to it, and you can't shut yourself off, and there is a lot of compromise and there's a lot of feelings to be aware of. You're not ever responsible for someone else's feelings, but you kind of are. Like I can't make you feel angry or sad or happy or joyful. However, I can contribute to that feeling that you have. So you've got to be responsible for how you communicate or what you do, and know that your actions have consequences.
Absolutely. And so all of this effort you think is just for the end goal of having the freedom, of lifestyle that you want so badly? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's worth it. Like I have loving relationships. They'll be what they are. My lifestyle in particular is a little bit like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I love kids in my life though. Like I said, one of my partners has a 3-year-old. So I have, I get that, and she's amazing. But I'm self-employed. I've always been self-employed. I've always wanted the freedom to up and leave if I want to up and leave. And my plans long-term are to travel and take photos and coach people, so I don't want to, and that's not anything against mono relationships at all. It's just, it's not for me.
It's not for you. Yeah.
And there's like, you can get into semantics of it. Basically, like there's a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. There's a reason for that. Back in the day, it's not even that long ago, really, before land ownership came in, there are some cultures that believe, because they don't know who the father is, there are some cultures that believe that parts of that baby are theirs, like not belongs, but has come from them. So like the arm or the eyes, and that's why that saying, like, it takes a village to raise a child, came about, because the whole village gets behind that kid and raises it. They don't know who the father is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's something for that, but there's also like you have friends for different reasons, right? You don't have just one friend.
Yes, we talk about this on the show, that as far as, you know, breakups go, like some people are going to be really awesome in this area of support. Some are more for partying. So, you know, when you're hurting, some are more for having the conversations and
Yeah, and that's how I feel in relationships. Like, obviously I'm bisexual because I see both men and women, probably more pansexual than bisexual, but you know, different story. But there's things like my current live-in partner is a dominant. That's all he ever wants to do. He doesn't like, he's not submissive in nature. This is not who he is. So I go and find that elsewhere. Like I have a play partner who I'm not in a relationship with, but we do that and I top him, you know, and it's fun. And it's just, I think
it makes total sense.
Yeah. I think when you limit it to one person, you're expecting that one person to provide and look after all of your needs. And that's not fair on them, nor is it fair on you, because you're obviously doing the same for them.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining.
That's okay, but that's my opinion. I mean, if you want to do that, more
this is not an anti-monogamy stance whatsoever.
No, not at all. Like, I totally get that, you know, and if that's what you guys are committed to, like those are your vows in marriage or not marriage, whatever, but like you're committed to providing that for one person. I just don't have that energy either, nor like there are desires, particularly I think because I'm interested in the BDSM community, like there are so many more things that I like or things that I like to do and stuff like that. So it's just a way of exploring that and getting fulfillment in all areas.
Exactly. You choose your fulfillment. There's I think it was like Mark Manson or something. He's like, you choose which shit sandwich you want to eat. Like, what's your favorite flavor of shit sandwich? And you know, so like it does. I'm just full of these jewels of wisdom. But yeah, like, you know, there are drawbacks. It's not like you get to go and like free for all have sex with anyone. It's like there are still expectations. You have to have that communication aspect. There is more to juggle because there are more people. And then if you're monogamous, you know, you have to meet your own needs in the areas that your partner doesn't meet them. So there's always going to be a drawback. There's not just one like magic pill.
No. And that's exactly right. Like in monogamous relationships, that's the thing you do. You have to manage that. Whereas in poly, I find we can explore that further. But again, I don't just go out and sleep with whoever I want to go sleep with. I talk to my partners first, mostly my live-in partner. The other two are we're a little bit more relaxed in our relationship styles, but I'm not going to just go out and sleep with a whole bunch of people. Whereas, so it's a conversation rather than being like, oh, I want to do this and I can't, and I hate you for not letting me do that.
Totally. And this goes back to something that I was saying to Claire. We talked on the phone before this interview, and I was just telling her that at one point, one of my friends had said that the poly lifestyle was getting too hard for him, and that when he looked around, he felt like there was very few people who he knew who had made it work long term. And I asked him, but how many people do you know who are monogamous who made it work long term? You know, like there are the same dynamics in both. And probably for the same reason that polyamorous relationships thrive are the same that monogamous relationships fail, is that you don't have the communication and the freedom. And resentment probably builds up more. Whereas in poly relationships, you have your own issues.
Yeah. And there are people that believe that polyamorous relationships don't work long term because of that reason, right? But again, communication. I know that gets thrown around. Everyone's like, oh, communication, it's just so simple. It's simple, but it's not easy, right?
No.
It's you should see my calendar. It's color coded. Like We joke about it. Us polyam people, we freaking joke about like, hold on, let me just check my schedule. My life was like that before I was in polyam relationships because I'm so busy all the time. I spend a lot of time with different friends and go do, different activities in the evenings and stuff. So my life is already busy. Polyamory just kind of slotted into my spare spaces. Yeah. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys want to talk about breakups in polyamory?
Yeah. As a breakup podcast, we want to know, how do you navigate those? And I know one time we were talking and you talked about, kind of that love triangle situation where a breakup has happened within.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about. They got back together. That's my partner and my girlfriend.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So basically,
maybe a little background for those who weren't in on that conversation.
So, I haven't really been through any breakups in polyamory properly yet. So if anything changes, I'll let you guys know. However, my primary partner, and I don't like hierarchical terms, but for the explaining it to listeners.
Yeah.
My primary partner or my live-in partner, my anchor partner who I live with.
Anchor partner?
Anchor partner. There are so many terms.
I think it's hot. Partner, there's something about the terminology that I find sexy. I'm not. Maybe it's because I'm a word person, but I think it's really cool that you have your own.
There's a
language.
Label.
Yeah, it's hot.
There's so many labels. It's ridiculous. And I was like, I don't like labels. This is why I'm doing this. And
well, also it's like a secret club that you're in. It is.
I suppose so. Yeah. Anyway, so my live-in partner, like my male partner who I live with, was dating my girlfriend, and they were dating before before I started dating her. So over lockdown, we had this big group chat with a whole bunch of my BDSM kink friends, right? And we were just, we're bored, we're stuck at home, what are we going to do? So we had this big group chat. Anyway, he did what was proper and nice because neither of us had actually met her in person properly. Like I knew her. So he messaged her separately and was like, hi, this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. And then they hit it off, right? So they started talking. And then when I had dates with my girlfriend, they would have video calls as well, right? And so that's how that started. Anyway, they started dating. And I sort of was only dating him at the time. She also had a girlfriend. So stuff was going down. They ended up breaking up. There was just too much responsibility. Like because he's also new, like we're all kind of new to the polyamorous thing at the same time. Like all of us are trying to figure this one out as we go. Mm-hmm. Particularly him. Like I'd been around it a lot longer. He had dated someone that wasn't into polyam, but like hadn't really explored it himself. So there was adjustments of expectations and needs and stuff, particularly because you're adding in like the DS, like the dominant submissive dynamic as well. So anyway, they ended up breaking up, and it was emotionally, because her and I got close by that time and started dating, and then they broke up. So they broke up after we'd started dating, which just made it difficult.
I can imagine.
Because there's him going through breakup, right, which is the being sad and the upset and the like just beating himself up and moping, and I'm not really good at that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, I get it sucks, but can you just move the fuck on? Like
easier said than done as a breakup coach.
Not a breakup coach.
Not a breakup coach. Do not come to me for advice on breakups, because I'd be like, oh, really?
See, this goes back to what we were saying about different people providing different types of support.
Exactly.
You're not going to be the coddler, come cry on my shoulder.
No, I'm not a, and that's my style of coaching as well. I'm not a coddler. I can be. Like I had a friend come around the other day. She's like, I just need to come around. We both have depression. Suffer's a weird, I don't like saying suffer from. We both have depression. She was having a bad day. She came around and I just cuddled her and she cried. But we're both the type of people, like once we've done that, we know to get on with it. Like we just are like, oh yeah, okay, pull up pants and get on with it. But this was particularly hard with, like, just, I'm very, you can't see my hands, but I'm very movement.
Yes, unfortunately, this
Anyway,
is
the
a podcast
breakup-
and you can't see the pulling on the pants motion, but I liked that.
Anyway, so my partner and my other partner broke up and he was all mopey, and I was like, okay, but it was affecting our relationship. And that's like, I totally got, like, the first couple of days I was like, yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Like I can understand, and I sympathize and stuff like that. And I was talking to both of them through it, and it's kind of like me being the middleman, which I don't think that's like how it is if, say, we weren't, like, her and I weren't dating. Like if I was just his partner, I think it'd be very different. But because I had to manage both parties, because I'm dating both of them and I'm not planning on breaking up with either of them because of this breakup, I had to manage that, right? So her and I are still talking, and she, again, is like me, was like, it kind of was just like a weight off her shoulders at that particular time. She's also dealing with external stuff around the father of her child and stuff like that. So breaking up with my partner was sort of, it just took some of that weight off her shoulders. So she was fine. And her and I were like, okay. And so I would go to her and be like, look, he's, having a hard time, or this is happening. And she would then communicate with him. But it was starting to affect his and mine relationship, because he was always down and he was always moping and he was always like, and it would just bring the energy, because I'm empathic, it would just bring that whole energy in the house down.
Right.
So at the time, so I had to say to him, I said, look, I can't keep doing this. You need to sort this out. And I get it, but you need to, like, talk to her or move on or whatever. I should have just referred him to you guys.
Well, what advice?
Like, I've got
give?
some people you can talk to.
Oh, well, next time, yes, I would have loved to speak to them. If you were in a poly pod, what advice would you give? Like, what would you have done differently?
I think, again, I know it sounds so simple, communication. Like, if it was me going through the breakup, what I would need would be a support person, which I don't recommend being your partner if that partner is also dating that person you've just broken up with.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
I mean, yes, they're going to be around for that communicate. Like, they're going to be around because you're going to be feeling that, particularly if you're living with them. But, like, I've got friends that I can go to. I've got people that I can go and talk to about what's going on that isn't my partner.
Yeah.
So it isn't bringing them down constantly as well. And I think that's the biggest thing, is seek out that support, right? And I assume that's what you guys kind of would talk to in a breakup, right? Is go and get that support that you need.
Yeah. And spread it around,
Yeah. And
you
don't
can't
just
rely
lump it
just
on
on one person to.
Yeah. And that's what
why
was
we're
happening.
coaches, is because you can't just go to your mom or your best friend to talk about this constantly. It actually helps to have someone on the outside who can offer advice and hear you out more often.
And it's a neutral party as well. It's not someone who's going to be like, if you talk to your mom or your best friend and then you end up getting back together with this person, they're going to hurt that person, they're going to hate that person.
Yeah.
Because your mom and your best friend are there to look out for your best interests. Of course they're going to hate that person.
They're going to be like, you hurt her.
You hurt her. Why the fuck are you getting back with that dickhead? Like,
and you're like, I don't know. I love
you. I don't know. Well, Claire, did you want to jump in with anything?
No, I mean, I think what you're saying is just like self-exploration. You need to communicate what you need, but you also need to know what you need. And that will come with time, and it does change. We are constantly evolving. And
I think you need to take responsibility for what you need as well. Like, you can't rely on other people for what you need. Like, yes, they're there to support you, but I don't think it's responsible to rely on other people. Like, you need to be responsible. Like, okay, today I'm feeling really shitty about this. I need to go for a walk. And I can't, particularly like with poly, because when you break up in a mono relationship, it's a little bit different, right? Particularly because you're not in a triad, you kind of don't talk to the person you broke up with about the breakup. You kind of like, well, fuck you, I hate you, unless it's a
well,
maybe I
have a follow-up question about this, but you're totally right. With me at least.
And sometimes it goes the other way too, where it's like, maybe you shouldn't be talking so much to your ex.
Yeah, exactly. Like my ex-partner and I, the last one, him and I are friends. We talk. We've gone out for dinner. Like, but we had to get to that point. We had to give each other some space. We had to go through that time of like, okay, we can't talk to each other. And that's hard when you've been with someone for like a long time and they're your go-to and your confidant and your best friend. It's hard. You want to turn to them. You want to cry to them. But when it's you guys that have broken up, it's, you both need that space, right? You both need to be like, okay, cool. And then come back to it together when you've had some time to process and get over it.
We agree. Yeah. Do you think that being non-monogamous set you up for being open to being friends with your ex? Because as someone who's dabbled a little in the lifestyle, it seemed like it was much more important to people who I knew who were non-monogamous to stay friends and on good standing with their exes. Do you think that's true?
I would say, I guess so, but I come from like Auckland's not that big and there's not that many polyamorous people in the community. So chances are one of your ex-partners is going to be dating someone later down the track, right? Like my first girlfriend, her partner was involved with other people that I know, and he's not very popular with some of my friends. So you just have to be, I'm very neutral, I'm very Switzerland when it comes to that stuff, unless you've harmed me directly or my loved ones. But yeah, I think it's important. The reason that my ex-partner and I managed to stay friends is because it was an amicable breakup. Because I have a hell of a lot of respect for him and always have. We started working together. Like I was his boss for a long time in a pub that I worked at. So I have a hell of a lot of respect for him, and he still goes and sees my family. Like my stepdad and his partner used to live in Auckland, and we'd go around for dinner all the time, like every week. And then when we split up, he said to me, I remember, he's like, oh man, now I'm not going to be able to see Laura and Mike, my stepdad and his partner. And I was like, I don't see why not. Like, you're friends with them too. Like, so he did. Like once a month, he'd go around and have dinner with them without me.
Okay.
Yeah. So it can be amicable, and you can stay friends with people. I think particularly with polyam community, because it is small, particularly where I am, it makes sense to stay friends. It doesn't necessarily happen. Particularly like said girlfriend and her ex-partner, they are not talking. It did not end well. It was just, there was no communication from the other party. Like she just didn't communicate at all.
It seems to me that one of the differences is when you're polyamorous, you're really part of a community. Whereas there's not necessarily a monogamous community, so not as many opportunities for this awkwardness.
You're just alone.
Well, I mean, the default is monogamy, right? So why would you then need a community? I feel like communities come out of like a minority.
So it's more important to at least be on somewhat good terms.
Not
that it always happens, but there's
not that it always happens. I think it's important. I think it's important anyway. Like we're all humans, particularly if your ex-partners are in the same scenes as you. Like if you work with or work in the same industry, like even if you're mono and you've got mutual friends, because particularly like if you've been friends with someone for a long period of time, you've been dating someone for a long period of time, your friends don't want to have to choose a side. Like, you know what I mean? So I think if you can, regardless if it's polyam or mono, like be amicable, and that may take time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Like,
it's not.
I
was seeing a guy and it just kind of ended. He semi-ghosted me, not really. We're also in the kink community, so it's kind of hard to ghost someone when the community is that small. But now we've got to a point, like he's dating a girl and stuff. We've got to a point where we can like hug each other and say hi. But it's very surface level. It's not.
Which is fine.
But you have to. Like, it's really weird when people don't get on, particularly when, like I said, in Auckland, that in the BDSM scene is very small. It's hard. You can see it. You can see when people are awkward and don't like each other.
How many people live in Auckland? I'm sorry, and then Claire, you go.
I don't know. I'm very bad. I'm very
What, you
bad
don't know the
geography.
population facts of your town?
Hold on,
Like,
let me
okay,
Google
off the
it
top of
while
your
you're-
head.
Okay, a few 100,000, 100,000, a million.
Hold on.
Uh,
Population.
Sorry,
I'm
sorry.
Googling this,
oh my
guys.
gosh.
Of
Guys.
we
And
have
then
1.6 million people in 2017.
all right.
Yeah. And that's just in Auckland. But yeah.
And I was wondering, how did you know that you got to the point where you could be friends with your ex? Like when were you like, oh, I could call him up or text him? Like, how did that even go down?
That's a really good question. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
There was no like aha moment or anything like that. It was kind of like, okay, we broke up. He moved back to his parents' house. I moved into a flat with friends. It was very limited contact at that time. And it wasn't really until I moved out of that flat and I was moving and I basically, it was over a fridge, guys.
It was
I had
what?
a fridge. It was over a fridge. I had a refrigerator that I no longer needed because I was moving out of this flat and moving into a friend's house. So I said to him, I was like, oh, do you or your brother want this fridge? And they came and picked it up. And things sort of kind of went back to normal from there. Like,
Mhm.
not normal, like a new normal, I suppose,
Yeah,
but like,
new normal.
you know, we're like, okay, cool. And we would just talk and we caught up. He's done me such a big favor. Like, because I'm self-employed, it's so much harder to get loans and stuff in New Zealand. So when we were together, I got a loan to pay off some stuff and he had to be a signatory on it. So things need to be amicable. You know, I wasn't good. And because I'm not that person to be like, well, fuck you, I'm not going to pay the loan and it's going to default and you have to pay it. Like, it's not his loan. It's not his problem. He did me a huge favor by doing that. Once I'd managed to pay that loan off and get him off it, I took him out to dinner as a thank you. I was like, I could not have done that without you. And you were cool about it even after we broke up, because like he could have not been cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I just, as much as it sounds simple, communication. You've just got to talk with the people in your lives, and you guys liked each other at some point in time, right? You were in a fucking relationship, so why can't you find common ground to
Yeah.
be like, okay, you're obviously were a decent or are a decent human being. We just don't click.
Yeah.
Unless you're a narcissist and then you're just an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
look, there are cases where it's not appropriate.
Yeah,
hopefully, to stay friends,
exactly.
for sure.
No,
But
no,
it seems
for
like
sure.
this is something that's brought you joy and happiness, having these people in your life. So
100%.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So if you we're finishing up here, but if you could tell us a little bit about your coaching and your photography, because they are linked, is that right?
Yes.
Or,
yeah. So everything's at lovemetrue.co.nz. And basically it started
and
as
I just want to
NZ
say
for the Americans here.
NZ. Sorry guys, NZ.
I know.
No, it's totally
Zed.
fine. But having lived over there, I was like, what the hell? Zed?
Yeah. I know, we just have to like add an ED to the end of Z, like Z.
Because
Why the fuck not? I don't know.
Can you just say the website one more time?
lovemetrue.co.nz. Is that how I
there
say
you
it? But I started as a photographer. I've studied as a photographer. I have a degree.
Fancy.
And yeah, I know. It means nothing. They disbanded the degree not long after I finished. So
wow. All right.
Anyway, most photographers start how most photographers start. I did everything and anything. And it wasn't until I started going on my own journey for like self-development and self-love and self-care, and sort of started to explore who I was, that I really started doing what I do now, which is women's empowerment photography, and now coaching as well. And I work with women exclusively. I do shoot men, but it's not really who I'm after or who I really want to make a difference to, because I know that women tend to need that more. Like, we're fed so much bullshit in the media all of the time about how we should look, how we should feel, how we should act, and it's kind of like, well, no, that's not right. And so through photography, I sort of give women back their confidence, and they get to see themselves in a new light. And I've had women cry. I've photographed a beautiful trans woman who said to me that she finally saw herself in images the way she saw herself in her head.
Oh,
You know, how fucking powerful is that I can give that to someone,
yeah,
so that they can finally see who they actually are. And so that moved into the coaching realm for me, particularly more around like kink, BDSM, non-mono. And so I coach around self-image, body image, but also sexuality and like pleasure.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's incredible.
I think it's so neat.
Yeah, I highly recommend, if you are in New Zealand, work with Jessie, but just in general, when I was getting over a breakup, I booked a boudoir shoot for the first time ever, and it was incredible. So, it can totally be part of your breakup healing.
Oh yeah, I love
100%.
that. Oh yes.
100%. Like do it, and I've had people do that. I do a lot of, because New Zealand is not taboo, but very much behind the times. We are not very, like, I've noticed the rest of the world, like America and Australia and stuff, there are a lot of boudoir photographers, and that's what I started as. I started doing boudoir. New Zealand women don't really, there's not that confidence isn't there, and that like acceptance. We're very tall poppy, like we pull each other down and stuff, which is disgusting. I could go on, but so boudoir, I don't do a lot, but I often say to women when I have consultations with them, I'm like, you can bring whatever you want, t-shirts, jeans, dresses, and I said, and bring some lingerie. You don't have to shoot in it, but you might get to that point at the end of the shoot and be like, well, fuck it, I want to get into my And then I've had people who are like, no, I just want to do boudoir, I just want to get into my underwear, and I just want to celebrate who I am. Mainly women who breakups, because they're like, well, the big F you to their ex-partner. They like show you them, be like, damn, I'm sexy, fuck you, like whatever. But it's such an empowering thing, getting in front of the camera in your lingerie and owning it. But it's just as powerful being fully clothed. Like,
yeah, totally.
Empowerment you don't have to be naked to feel empowered. You don't have to be in your lingerie to feel empowered. And that's what I found, and that's why I didn't like the term boudoir and glamour. Glamour sounds very 80s. You think like soft focus, felt like all that fun stuff. Whereas so that's why I've sort of coined it like women's empowerment photography, because it's very much it's about empowering them and giving them an experience that sort of wakes up what was there already. Because you've got it in you. Every woman has it in them. You just sometimes need to be reminded of that.
Yeah.
So true. And if we do end up all getting together for our retreat, maybe you can do some shoots.
Man, I'll bring my camera.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say about your coaching work?
Come to me. No. Basically, my coaching is an extension of that. It's really around empowering women. More so in the side of like sexuality. I've got a course or a one-to-one coaching program called Goddess Awakening. It's your 90 days to unapologetic self-love and badassery, because I'm all about being a badass. And like basically living your authentic true self and speaking out who you are. Because we don't do that. Well, not all of us. There are, a lot of the time we do not step into who we are, and we're not happy. And basically, I want people to just live life the way that they want to by their own rules. So I really work through like bringing pleasure inside and outside of the bedroom, because pleasure doesn't just have to be an orgasm. In fact, it's not just orgasm. Like taking action, like getting over those hurdles, a lot to do with obviously mindset, as we all know in the coaching realm. 90% of work is mindset, but like I work on reconnecting you with your inner goddess and who you are, and bringing out you again and awakening that, because it's so damn important. Because particularly at this time in the history of the world, we are more so than ever asking for the rise of the feminine.
Yes.
not to just get rid of the masculine, but to bring balance, because both things need both things, we need both fem and masc energy, but there's definitely an unbalance at the moment, and there is a calling to bring that fem energy back in, and to embrace that and to slow down, particularly I think because we've got COVID and stuff, that hustle mentality, that go mentality, that keep going that we're taught to do, which I'm guilty of, is not serving us anymore. I mean, look, all of the world is shut down currently because of we didn't slow, and it's forcing us to slow down, and it's forcing us to go inward, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's probably about time people stopped and slowed down and looked at what's going on.
Well, amazing. We're going to put all of your information in the show notes and promote the hell out of this. I'm so glad that we did this.
Yeah, and thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. It's so lovely to see your beautiful faces again.
Everyone else doesn't get that opportunity.
Sorry, guys.
Well, we're so glad to know you, and we're so glad to have you as the first guest. And thank you for everything that you shared. People are going to love it and benefit from it.
You're so welcome. And if anyone has any questions about kink, BDSM, polyam, non-mono, they're more than welcome to send me a message.
Thanks for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you like this episode, tag us on your Instagram story so we can connect with you.
And you can find me, Claire, on Instagram at Claire Lofthouse.
And me, Janice, on Instagram at Janice Formicella. Talk soon.
Bye. And here's a preview of our next episode. Staying in contact with your friends during relationships. I know right now you are going through a breakup, but hey, when you do meet someone new and you are in that phase, make sure you continue cultivating the friendships that you are leaning on so heavily right now.
Totally.
Because it really does. They may not say anything to you because it's super awkward and not everyone is ready to have that conversation, but it's like, where were you for the past 6 months? And now you want to hang out every night.
I know. It's like a pet peeve of mine. People do it. And look, if someone shows up for you in a meaningful way, you need to realize that this is a special friendship, and continue to water it even if you meet someone.
Continue to water it.